2 billion people on this planet are being controlled by the same man every single day. But you've almost certainly never seen his face. No press conferences, no interviews, no headlines. Add up all the video footage of him online, and it barely reaches a few minutes. And yet, this invisible man built an app the entire human race can't put down. Every video you scroll, every second you stay. Behind it all is an invisible hand he designed. His name is Jiang Yiming. Net worth, nearly $100 billion, the richest man in China. So here's the question. How? Talent? Money? Luck? None of them. Today, I'm going to give you an answer almost no one talks about. Jiang Yiming's real algorithm isn't in the code. It's hidden inside a handful of Chinese books written more than 2,000 years ago. The Tao Te Ching, Zhuangzi, the 36 Stratagems, The Art of War. The man who looks like the ultimate Silicon Valley engineer? Underneath, he's pure ancient Eastern strategist. For the rest of this video, I'm going to peel it back, layer by layer, and show you exactly how he wrote the wisdom of the ancients into the screens of 2 billion people. And by the end, you'll see something else. This playbook isn't just his. You can use it too. Now, ST1, the origin of the invisible man. Let's start with a contradiction. The man who now moves markets with a whisper? As a kid, he was the boy nobody noticed. 1983. Longyan, a small city in Fujian province, China. Both parents, ordinary civil servants. A household built on rules, on books, on steady, quiet living. Jiang Yiming was not the flashy genius type. He didn't show off. He didn't interrupt. He didn't chase the spotlight. Everyone who knew him says the same thing. Quiet, logical, patient, always reading. See that? The richest man in China. Utterly unremarkable at the start. 2005. He graduates from Nankai University with a degree in software engineering. And then, nothing dramatic. He joins a travel site called Kuxun. He works at Microsoft. He writes code, fixes bugs, leads a small team. Ordinary work. A man who would one day flip the world upside down spent his early years doing that. But that's exactly the point. There's a line in the Tao Te Ching that reads like the script of his early life. A tower 9 stories high begins with a single basket of earth. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A 9-story tower is built one basket of earth at a time. What he eventually built was a tower worth more than $300 billion. But the very first basket of earth? It was those lines of code written in a tiny company nobody remembers. He has a phrase he repeats constantly: delayed gratification. Don't chase quick money. Don't rush to prove yourself. Lay the foundation until it's unbreakable. Laozi said it long ago. The great things of the world are always built from the small. Remember those words. That's secret number 1. But the thing that truly transformed him wasn't a success. It was a brutal failure. Act 2. The useless failure. Most people think Jiang Yiming won on his first try. Wrong. In 2009, he built a real estate search site called 99 Fang. The result? It died. If the story stopped here, he'd just be one more fallen founder nobody remembers. But something strange happened. That very failure is what fed the giant that became ByteDance. Because while building 99 Fang, one question got its claws into him and wouldn't let go. Why do people have to work so hard to search for information? Why can't the information come find them? That completely useless little question, a few years later, became the foundation of a trillion-dollar empire. Zhuangzi told a story about this. A tree. gnarled, twisted, so ugly no carpenter would even glance at it. But precisely because it was useless, nobody cut it down. So it grew into a giant, shading an entire village. Zhuangzi said, "Everyone knows the use of the useful, but no one knows the use of the useless." People stare at what's useful and miss the enormous power of what looks useless. Zhang's failed projects, his dead-end thoughts, at the time, all useless detours. But those detours are exactly what let him see, earlier than anyone, one truth. The information of the future shouldn't be hunted by people. It should be served up by a machine, straight to your face. That single idea? That's the embryo of TikTok. Failure didn't break him. Failure handed him a map no one else had. 3 years later, he'd use that map to make a very big move. Act 3. He built a machine that reads your mind. March 2012, Beijing. A rented 4-bedroom apartment. Zhang Yiming and his partner Liang Rubo found a company, ByteDance. He's 29 years old. His idea, at the time, sounded like something a madman would say. Other platforms use human editors to pick content. They use who you follow to decide what you see, not him. He wanted the algorithm to decide what you tap, how long you linger. Whether you finish, the machine learns on its own. It learns you. Almost no investor believed him. Door after door slammed shut, until one firm, Susquehanna, took the bet. August 2012, the first product launches. Tutiao. Today's headlines. No editor-in-chief, no human layout. Everything handed to the algorithm. 2 years. Daily active users blow past 13 million. Sequoia Capital, the firm that had rejected him, comes crawling back and leads a $100 million round. That's how fast the tables turned. But notice what he was actually doing. It's pure Laozi. Laozi taught Wu Wei, governing through non-action. The highest form of management isn't controlling everything, meddling everywhere. It's building a system, then letting all things grow by their own nature. That's exactly it. Zhang doesn't pick your content. He builds a machine that learns and lets the content come find you. The Tao does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. No brute force. The system runs itself and ends up able to do anything. He even has a famous management line, "Context, not control." Don't give orders. Lay all the information out in the open and let the team flow like water, finding its own direction. And water, that's his deepest move of all. The most powerful line in the entire Tao Te Ching is this: the highest good is like water. Water benefits all things and does not compete. The highest wisdom is like water. Water never fights head-on, yet it wears through stone, seeps through every crack, and finally gathers into a river nothing can stop. ByteDance's algorithm is that water. You can't feel it pushing, but it has already quietly soaked into every minute of your day. He'd already conquered China, but Zhang Yiming's ambition was never about China. He was playing a game for the entire world. ACT 4. 1. Move. Advance in secret. And he took the planet. 2016. ByteDance launches Douyin, short video plus algorithm. The combination lit a fuse on a powder keg. Young people poured in by the millions. But that was just the appetizer. Zhang Yiming's real kill shot was overseas. While other Chinese companies were clawing each other apart for the home market, he had already locked onto the entire world. He buys an American lip-sync app called musical.ly. He merges it with the overseas version of Douyin and gives it a new name: TikTok. This move is straight out of the 36 stratagems. Advance secretly by a hidden path. On the surface, TikTok is just a kids dancing entertainment app. Harmless. Who guards against a dancing app? But the real weapon is hidden where you can't see it. That recommendation engine, learning you, evolving, getting sharper every single use. By the time competitors woke up, TikTok had already marched onto the home screens of hundreds of millions of phones. What does the art of war say? The skilled warrior moves the enemy and is never moved by the enemy. A master doesn't get dragged around. He drags everyone else. The social media giants of the world were still competing on how many friends do you have? Who do you follow? Zhang Yiming just changed the entire racetrack. He competed on one thing. How well does the machine understand you? Change the rules. And the initiative is all yours. TikTok today? The numbers? Nearly 2 billion monthly active users. The 5th largest social platform on Earth. The average user spends about 95 minutes a day on it, the highest of any social app in the world. Add TikTok Shop, and the number of active overseas buyers has climbed to around 400 million. A dancing app became a beast that devours the world's attention. But the taller the tree, the harder the wind hits. And the blade that came next? It cut deep. Act 5. Cornered. The golden cicada sheds its shell. TikTok got too successful. So successful, it walked itself to the edge of a cliff. 2024, the U.S. Congress passes a bill. Either ByteDance sells off TikTok's U.S. business, or TikTok is banned across America. Two choices, no third door. For a moment, the whole world sat back to watch the company die. A dead end? What ByteDance did next is an entire modern remake of the 36 stratagems. Early 2026, ByteDance carves out TikTok's U.S. business, valued at roughly $14 billion. Then it hands part of that business to a group of American investors led by Oracle. By early June 2026, the deal is officially done. This move has a name. The golden cicada sheds its shell. The main body quietly slips away, leaving behind a still-functioning shell to take the heat. The cicada flew off. The shell is still hanging on the tree, and the logic underneath it is, retreat is the supreme move. But pay attention, this retreat is not running away. It's a deliberate concession. Give ground to gain ground. Survive first, win later. The art of war warned us long ago. A small force that fights to the death will be captured by the larger one. Stand and brawl against overwhelming power, and you'll be swallowed whole. Only the one who knows how to bow gets the chance to stand tall again. The result? The moment the risk cleared, the markets exhaled. ByteDance's risk discount got slashed from 25% all the way down to 10%. And Zhang Yiming's net worth, in a very short window, jumped by more than $24 billion. Take one step back, and the sky opens wide. He proved that, with an entire global empire as the demonstration. But the move nobody could understand? He planted it 5 years earlier. ACT 6. At the very top, he chose to disappear. Rewind to 2021. ByteDance is at its absolute peak. Everyone assumes Zhang Yiming will plant himself firmly at the top of the throne. And then he does the one thing nobody saw coming. He quits. Steps down as CEO, hands the company to his co-founder, Liang Rubo, and withdraws into the shadows. He's 38 years old. Most founders cling to power until the day they die. Zhang Yiming chose to let go. In an open letter, he admitted, rather than sit in meetings and make decisions, he'd rather read quietly, think, and look further down the road than anyone else. This is exactly what Laozi described. When the work is done, withdraw. That is the way of heaven. The work is finished, so the man steps back. Only that aligns with the Tao. Water that's full spills over. A full moon begins to wane. The one who knows how to step back at the very peak is usually the one who sees the furthest. And by retreating into the background, Zhang proved another of Laozi's lines. Because he does not compete, no one in the world can compete with him. Precisely because he doesn't fight for the chair, doesn't grab the spotlight, no one can shake him. He's no longer the CEO giving orders, but he's still the deepest anchor at the very core of this company, especially in ByteDance's heaviest bet of all, artificial intelligence. And Laozi has one more line that reads like it was written for him. To know others is wisdom. To know yourself is enlightenment. Knowing others makes you clever, but knowing yourself, knowing exactly when to walk off the stage, that is true mastery. So today, this man who disappeared, how is he doing? ACT 7. The Kun that sank to the bottom of the sea. 2026. Zhang Yiming lives in Singapore. Still low profile, still almost never seen, but the numbers speak for him. ByteDance is valued in the hundreds of billions. His roughly 21% stake pushes his net worth to about $92.8 billion. The richest man in China. And for the first time, the second richest person in all of Asia. And his next bet, AI. ByteDance's AI assistant, Dubao, already has over 300 million monthly users, one of the most popular AI apps in China. And reportedly, ByteDance may pour as much as $70 billion into AI this year alone. This man is nowhere near the finish line. Zhuangzi, in his opening chapter, paints a picture. In the northern sea lives a giant fish called the kun, and it can transform into a giant bird, the peng. When the peng journeys to the southern sea, its wings beat the water for 3,000 miles, and it rises on the whirlwind 90,000 miles into the sky. When the peng takes off, its wings slap the water across 3,000 miles, and it rides the storm, soaring 90,000 miles into the heavens. But everyone forgets one thing. The peng wasn't born 90,000 miles up in the sky. First, it had to sink to the deepest part of the ocean and live as the kun, that plain, unremarkable fish. Only after storing up enough could it soar. Zhang Yiming is that kun, the one who sank to the bottom first, the quiet boy from Longyan, the bug-fixing engineer, the failed founder. Those dark years at the bottom, those were his 3,000 lie of beating water. Close landing the line. Back to the question we started with. How did Zhang Yiming build an app the whole world is addicted to? Algorithms? Money? Luck? All of it. And none of it. Here's the real answer now that you've earned it. He used Laozi's water to build an algorithm that wins without fighting. He used Zhuangzi's use of the useless to slow cook failure into foresight. He used the advance and retreat of the 36 stratagems to walk out of a death trap untouched. And finally, he used Laozi's withdraw when the work is done to let go at the very top. Wisdom written more than 2,000 years ago, pressed by one quiet boy from Fujian into the screens of 2 billion people. This, perhaps, is the most Eastern success formula there is. And here's the best part. This wisdom isn't Zhang Yiming's private property. It's written in a handful of old books anyone can open, which means it can be yours too. If this video gave you even a little something, drop a like, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments, who do you want me to decode next through the wisdom of the ancients? See you in the next one.